Okay, give me an example.
I have a project that I've been working on for about a year. It's like a $4 or $5 million. It's a church and it's a rectory renovation, and then they're adding a building in between. And I've kind of been heading it up for about a year, working with the owner, pricing it accordingly. And then now, as I'm going to this next route, this kind of next endeavor in my career, it's kind of falling through the cracks because it's not something I'm going to be running with currently. So they're still wanting me to be involved, and I'm trying to do that. And all my other clients that I'm working with, so it's a lot. So I think they need to bring in more people to take some of those things that are going to be missed, and that's going to be happening for years because of how we've dissolved the interiors department. So it's there's a lot of clients or potential projects right there that are going to fall through the cracks.
Okay, let's dive in on this, team. So Corey and Reed, let's brainstorm. What are some things that we can do here? I'll give you one. Outsourcing. If you really get into a lot of trouble, there's the company that I used when I was at DPR. It's called V-Construct, and if you legitimately need submittals processed or things like that, you can sign them up into work processes that to get RFIs distributed, manage the project management systems, things like that. So that's one really outside the box idea. I don't even know if Sheila would let you do that. But what are some other ideas that we have, team?
Suck it up and just work harder.
How many projects do you have?
Currently active, like 5 or 6 active, and then in the bidding process or going to go, probably in 20s.
What is your role?
Project manager.
Okay, so then here's a couple of things. So your leader standard work is crucial. You absolutely have to do that. The other thing is I would time block your days, your weeks, sorry. Yeah. And we've talked about this before where if you have 5 to 6 active projects, can you carve out and focus on a project a half a day and not switch your context? I can almost promise you're wasting anywhere from 5 to 20 hours just on context switching. So if you created a calendar, and this probably doesn't seem remarkable, but if you created a calendar where Monday, Tuesday, well, let's just do this right now. Let's take your projects and I'll label them here right on the board. Or actually, here's what I'll do. I will give you access to this if you want. You can go right here on the chat because that's just how I roll. You can help me with this if you want. We'll time block these, and I want you can call them project 1, 2, or 3, or 4, or we can do their real name, whatever. But Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. How would you time block this?
I would assume the most important one right now would be Dormicaba Advanced Engineering, so I would try to do that first thing Monday morning.
Give me the abbreviated. So is it a dorm? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Dorma.
How much time do you need to allocate to that in a week?
Currently, Corey will attest to this, but the superintendent that's going to run that is on Corey's job currently. So kind of doing split responsibilities right now, superintendent and project manager. So it's going to take a little bit more time.
Yeah, just tell me.
Or at least a couple more weeks. 2 hours.
Okay. 10 more. Okay. Answers must come quicker. Okay, so you're going to get started. I'm just teasing with you. There we go. So a couple of hours. What's your next job?
HRH, dermatology refresh.
Okay. How long will that take?
Probably a little less, 2 hours.
Okay. What's the next job?
Go back to Dormicaba. We have an elevator machine.
Okay. Is that 2 hours?
An hour.
What's next?
Dormicaba rooms 90 to 84.
Is it NA or MA?
NA.
What Dormicaba? What was the third one?
84 to 90 offices.
Okay. Offices. How long will that take?
Again, probably another hour.
Okay.
I have Salesforce, 10th floor SRC.
So 10th floor. Okay. How long will that take?
Probably a little 3 hours.
Okay. And then what's the other job? Is that it?
That's it. Really active. Now there's still some couple dormers in there, but everything else is maybe bidding. So I have a project that I had to sign an NDA on, so we won't discuss the client, but I have a project for that and a couple more that I'm bidding. St. John's is another one, the church.
Okay. Does this look like something you could do?
Yeah, sure.
What do you mean sure? I'm not teasing you. I don't know if that's an answer.
Yes.
Okay. So if you're legitimately having a problem fitting all of this in, there's usually, if you're time blocking something in, there's a couple different things. It's your meetings, it's your standard work, or I'll say production work, and then it's your, what would you call your one-offs? Yeah, I'll just call them one-offs. So everything that you have when you time block has these 3 different considerations. So I don't know when your meetings are scheduled for all of these, but my thought would be this: if you can, when you time block these, get an idea. Now you are optimizing your efficiency on this right now. Until you have other people, that may be the best thing. But if you have certain meetings, like let's call these pink, can you get your meetings to where they're in, the same kind of time block for all of these if you have them? What do you think about that? Would that be partially possible?
Well, some of those, they don't have progress meetings, but some of them are bi-weekly, so they would only, be contingent.
Yeah, absolutely. How many of these projects have like something that are like little one-off emergencies every day?
Most of them.
Okay.
Most of them.
So maybe it's like, and when do those one-off things happen, in the morning or just throughout the day? First thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you schedule your stuff to where it's more like this, and maybe on 2 days, Mondays are kind of bad to have like production work, but your one-offs you can schedule to have like here in the mornings every day.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that as a project manager, you have to get things focused. So you have your leader standard work, you have to time block your days. The other thing that you can do is set up effective communication systems. Now, this might seem pretty basic and commonsensical, but email, you have to reduce email. I would say that if you're running multiple projects right now, then your biggest time wasters, I'll just do it like this, is so email is probably your big one. Email, if I had to guess, is probably wasting at least 6 to 12 hours of your time. And the other thing is context switching is probably anywhere from 6 to 20, like I said. And then I'm going to leave those right there. So usually the productivity for a project manager or a project engineer on one job in a week is 12 hours. That means you get 12 hours of productive work in a week. And if you have multiple projects, you're probably looking at being down to like 4 really productive hours in a week with however many projects you have. And if that's hard to believe, I would just ask you to like really sit down and think about it, because when you're responding to email, are you adding value? Like if you look at, this is actually probably a really good little exercise that we can do. What are just rapid fire, all three of you start telling me. So emails, what else? What else does a project manager do? Calls, coordination, what else?
Scheduling.
Scheduling, meetings, what else?
Yeah, billings and
financial.
Yeah, financial stuff.
Okay, what else?
Contracts, contractor change orders, owner change orders.
COs. Okay, what else?
Material delivering or procurement.
Yeah, procurement.
Okay. Next.
Problem solving.
Okay, problem solving. Okay,
investigations.
Let's do this here to start. Which one of these are the most important of your time? I'll help you out. So this one, I'll do it.
Problem solving is a big one.
Problem solving, yep.
Procurement.
Yeah.
Okay, and probably contracts, because that's part of the procurement. Now let's stop there. The rest, what I'm marking red, are almost a complete waste of time. You have to do them, so don't be mad at me. But these red ones are like a complete waste of time. Now your company's not going to let you off the hook to where you have to do them, and these are like marginal, meaning, so coordination should be left green. Scheduling is really important, actually. Meetings, this is probably marginal here. This is what we're looking at. If there was a way to literally get people on, and I'm just telling you how it is on my side. Maybe you can't reach this level, but if you can get people on WhatsApp, if you can get them on a call or get them onto a meeting, that's so much better than emails. Emails will just waste so much of your time. It's absolutely detrimental. And I love emails because it's so therapeutic to like put it in an email and chuck the ball into somebody else's court, but they're like so destructive. Schedule. This is amazing. You got to spend more time doing that. Meetings. What I would say from a suggestion standpoint is make sure that there's a point to them, that they are effective, right? And that they're 100% needed. And if they're not, like, toss them and say, we're canceling this. You're not wasting my time for this. And then I would also say for meetings is that you have to have like at least one no meeting day, if not 2. I don't know if you can do two with how much work you have, but no meeting day. So scheduling that would be huge. For contracts and procurement, like you just have to make sure that this is your focus. Change orders, like in a perfect world, I would get somebody, an assistant, like that you trust, assistant or a help from accounting or outsource, which I'm not saying that these are possible. I just want to reframe how your mind thinks about these things. Billing and financials, you may have to do them as a project manager, but it doesn't mean that you should be. So just because you have to doesn't mean that you should be, right? Because this stuff, it's a lot about getting multiple prices. It's a lot about documentation. It's a lot about, do I have it in the right format for the owner? This really isn't a value add thing. The other thing is change orders. You may have to do that, but we don't make money with change orders. As often, like if somebody says, well, instead of waiting 2 weeks to get final design, we can just change order that. You should like freak and be like, no, don't do that. Hold on a minute. So basically what I'm saying is that these green items would be something that you would really want to make sure that you're time blocking into your effective time over here. So your production work, right? Anything, would you disagree with any of that, or do you agree with that?
Even maybe another one, and I'd like to know your opinion about this, but potential leads or new clients or looking at new projects, like I would assume that would be a green one as well, right?
If that's in your role, I would say executing and winning on the projects that we already have is the most important, but yeah, finding new clients. What I'm saying though is like there's at least 20%, 20 hours of waste in your daily activities, not because you're doing a bad job, but just inherent nature in the work that you have to get rid of. So as a project manager, you have to have your leader standard work. You have to make sure that you're time blocking. You have to set up an effective communication system, which would be the reduction of email, getting people on WhatsApp, having better, more effective meetings, and then just make sure that you are focusing more. A project manager will do best when you have one piece flow or one process flow and you focus. So what are your thoughts on that? As I go through that, what are your thoughts?
That's great. As quickly as you put that together, it's great. There's a lot of benefit in all of that.
Corey, Reed, what would you add to this little discussion?
I think meetings can be a huge time waster if there's no value being added by them, and maybe determine. I mean, up until a couple of years ago, Zoom just wasn't even around, but now that it is, I mean, if you've got a small project to where it can just be as effective for you to use a Zoom call as opposed to actually physically going to the project, then maybe you should do that. And like Jason mentioned, coordinating your meeting times. I mean, how much time could you waste just driving around town in front of your windshield, not getting anything done?
And you might actually have to say, yeah, I'm not driving to that meeting. Like we are scheduling a Zoom meeting. I'll tell you, at church, we have 5 or 6 different meetings that we do throughout the week and on Sunday. And I'm just like, we're doing them all on Zoom. I calculated for one set of meetings, I could save 18 labor hours. Just people driving back. That's 18 labor hours. If you multiply that by our billing rate, that's like, what is that? Like $2,000 or something? For that, you can buy a ticket to like a massive Tony Robbins event or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, love it. So let me ask you a question. By signing on today, did this add value to you a little bit?
Yes.
Yes.
So we've got the manpower one done. Estimating, maybe we save that for another day, but what was your specific thought? Are you getting more into estimating?
I've always been estimating. I've been estimating for like 4 or 5 years while out here, but it's just craziness how people, a lot of it's budgetary, but the project's not even going to go. There's a slight chance that it does go, but they just want to put a number in thin air. Okay, talk about it, and then, okay, we're not going to do it. So you're wasting all your time bidding projects and things that you may not even get.
I will say that if you're the PM and you're trying to estimate at the same time, you're chasing 2 rabbits, and that's going to be real hard. I would
Can you tell my higher ups about that?
Yes. I second that one. It kills a lot of time.
Yeah,
you're serving 2 masters. You'll love the one and hate the other, or just do the one and despise the other. Like, you cannot serve 2 masters, and that's what we're doing here. So yeah, may God have mercy on your soul.
Now I'm used to it, so it's kind of second nature.
And then as far as mentoring others, if you actually do this, and I hope the chances of leaving this conversation and actually doing something with this is high with you. Otherwise, we just wasted our time.
Yeah.
Unless you let me share this video on the Lean Superintendent channel, because we didn't cover anything confidential. Maybe we didn't waste our time, but the big thing for your next steps would be literally to create a leader standard work schedule that had everything time blocked, to adjust your meetings, and once you have the meetings adjusted, to time block your one-offs. And you should actually do this first, is block in family time, block in your personal time, schedule a no meeting day, and then it would be to refine communication systems, and like Reed said, get some meetings onto Zoom and really refine it and make sure you're not wasting any time. I would learn to despise email because it's such a big time waster. Yeah, so like if you said, what are my next steps to actually implement what we said today? That's it right there. Any questions? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Oh, and so what you would do is you would plan the mentoring of other people. That has to be one of the reasons that you and I'm guilty of this as well, is that we don't mentor other people, is it's not in our leader standard work. Everything else is just always so much more urgent.